If you're the type of man that usually tolerates bad characters and behavior from your friends, then this is your signal to stop right now. You should know that a man should never have to put up with some things in his life, whether they come from a friend, a coworker, an employer, a family member, or even a significant other. Of course, tolerance is a virtue, but this doesn't mean that there shouldn't be a limit to how much offense you should put up with. And it's why you must have noticed that there are specific things alpha men never tolerate in their relationships and interactions. Perhaps, if you identify and enforce these restrictions in your relationships too, then other people will start respecting and regarding you as a high-value man. Thankfully, I'll discuss some of these things you should never tolerate in this video. Surely you want to watch till the end, because number 1 will shock you. Number 12. Disrespect. You should never put up with disrespectful behavior or persons. This point is even more valid in today's society, where disrespect is becoming more common, and people think they can speak and act without regard for other people's feelings or values. Disrespect often presents itself in many forms, such as bullying, discrimination, disregarding boundaries, and disrespecting authority. Most times you may not even know that you're being disrespected until you pay close attention. Also, constant disrespect can affect your sense of self-worth and confidence, making you feel like it's normal behavior. And that's not even the worst part. If you frequently allow people to get away with disrespecting you, you're essentially opening the door to more disrespect. However, if you call them off whenever they disrespect you, you're letting them know you don't appreciate such behavior and giving them no other choice than to treat you better. It's also critical to recognize and respond appropriately to disrespect anytime someone brings it close to you. Plus, as much as you don't want to be disrespected, you should ensure that you do not disrespect others too. Number 11. Dishonesty. Dishonesty is one of the most damaging elements in our society today, and it should never be tolerated to any extent. It's a form of betrayal that also involves breaking of trust, making it even harder to maintain openness and respect in your relationships. After all, if someone respects you, they'll think twice before twisting the truth or telling you an outright lie. When you tolerate dishonesty, you allow yourself to be disrespected and deceived by others, and you're also letting someone break their word and promise without consequence for their actions. While these little white lies may seem harmless at first, they can have huge repercussions over time. So it will be beneficial to identify the dishonest people in your life and remove them from your daily interactions. Number 10. Negativity. Surrounding yourself with negative thoughts or people can significantly affect your productivity and self-confidence. However, avoiding negativity altogether is almost impossible because negative images and ideas are nearly everywhere you go. Sadly, we see negativity daily from people around us, the internet, and even social media. If you're not careful, you can easily get dragged down by all the negativity around you. And this is why you need to protect your inner space from negativity at all times. You can do this by focusing on only positive thoughts and emotions rather than on the negativities. You should also engage in activities that bring you joy, like reading a motivational book, listening to inspiring music, and surrounding yourself with positive friends that encourage you. Above all, you should make sure to cut off from negative people around you. Subscribe to our channel now for more tips like this one. Number 9. Controlling or manipulative behavior. Of course, you should never put up with anyone who tries to control you, regardless of whether they're your significant other, your supervisor, a coworker, your boss, or even a family member. Tolerating controlling behavior in your life is like giving someone the key to control your level of happiness, because they'll constantly try to regulate what you do and when you do it, where you go, how you spend your time, and even who you spend your time with. For this reason, you should never tolerate it to any extent. Number 8. A cheating partner. Even though this only often affects people in relationships, infidelity is more damaging than many realize. Perhaps there's even no other feeling that is as painful as being cheated on by someone you love. Of course, cheating doesn't always just come in the physical nature, but can also come in the emotional aspect as well. For instance, finding out that your partner values the intimacy of another person can hurt your sense of self and ability to trust people. So you should never tolerate this character in any of your relationships. If you discover that your partner has been unfaithful, it's healthier to move on than to stay. Indeed, doing this is not always easy, but you must understand that it's best for you and the other person. Number 7. Revealing clothes. Another thing you shouldn't tolerate from your partner is her attitude of revealing her body to other men. Indeed, there is no doubt that revealing clothes draw unwarranted attention, and some women derive their sense of self-worth and self-confidence from this attention. However, you should never accept this from your partner, because it's also a sign of disrespect. Of course, this does not mean that she should always dress in an old-fashioned and prim manner. It only means she should always dress modestly without revealing her body. Number 6. Abusive behavior. It is never acceptable to tolerate abusive behavior from anyone, regardless of who it's coming from. Of course, abuse can take many forms, including physical, emotional, verbal, sexual, and even financial abuse. But the most obvious sign of an abusive relationship is fear for your partner. Sadly, abusive behavior from people can influence all your decisions in life, so you should certainly not tolerate it. If you're experiencing physical, emotional, sexual, or other forms of abuse from a relationship, then it's time you recognize these signs and take the necessary steps to get out of these situations. This involves talking to a trusted friend or family member, or seeking help from a therapist or counselor. One therapy agency I highly recommend is onlinetherapy.com. Here, you can get all the assistance you need to escape abusive situations from a knowledgeable and resourceful team of professionals. Number 5. Phone snooping. While it's essential to have open and honest communication with your partner, it doesn't give them the right to snoop on your phone. So you should know that phone snooping is an outright act of disrespect and invasion of privacy. If your partner is constantly looking through your phone, it simply means that they do not respect your boundaries or trust you. And perhaps it's time you consider whether you want that kind of person in your life. Number 4. Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy involves claiming to have specific moral standards or beliefs, but then acting in a way that contradicts those beliefs. So do you know people who do this? Well, they're called hypocrites, and you should never tolerate them. Such people often pretend to portray themselves as someone they're not and criticize others for behavior they also engage in. They also often display double standards. Hypocrisy is the purest form of dishonesty, and there's no need to tell how much damage dishonesty can do. So it's best to avoid hypocrites entirely. Have you had any experience with such people in the past? Please drop a comment below and share your experience with us. Number 3. Time wasters. Do you have friends who always arrive late or cancel their plans with you? Or are they always asking you to do something for them but bail on you whenever it's time to return the favor? Well, these people are called time wasters, and they often act without regard for your time. Although they may not appear to be doing much harm, these people waste valuable minutes of your limited time. Thankfully, you don't have to put up with such people anymore. So set clear boundaries and stick to them before agreeing to their requests. Ask yourself if it's worth it. Number 2. Mediocre physical appearance. Indeed, you should never accept a mediocre appearance for yourself. This applies to both your style and the way that you groom yourself. In this case, the popular saying, "the way you're dressed is the way you will be addressed," couldn't be more accurate. Plus, numerous studies have shown that men who take care of themselves in terms of personal style, grooming, scent, and overall body presentation make more money and get more opportunities than men who do not take care of themselves in these areas. Additionally, they get more ladies of higher class. As a high-value man, your image is like our brand. So keep that in mind and don't settle for less when it comes to your appearance. Number 1. Self-condemnation. Self-condemnation is a very destructive habit that damages your mental and emotional well-being, even more than you may ever know. It involves a constant degradation or disapproval of yourself and your actions, and it's a bad habit for any man. It's one thing for others to criticize you, but it's even more damaging when you talk down on yourself. This is because your brain will begin to perceive the constant negative language you use on yourself as the truth, and its effects are often enormous. It can lead to feelings of low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, and even difficulties in making positive changes. If you enjoyed this video, then you should check out more of our videos now for more eye-opening tips that will help improve your relationship with others.